2008, 2012, black women voted at a higher rate than any other group in America. President Barack Obama, though, is not on the ballot, and as we've been talking about, there's huge concern about not just the percentage of black turnout, but how many actual people. Well, the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies surveyed black voter enthusiasm. They find that on the question of how important the outcome of this election is compared to previous presidential elections, 84% of blacks said it was very important, along with 85% of Latinos, 83% of whites. When black voters were asked about their intentions to vote, 76% of those, and now break this thing down, look at this here. People who are 65 plus, 97%.
Right.
55 to 64, 89%, 40 to 54, 90%, 30 to 39, 84%. To Cornell's point earlier, that 18 to 29 group, only 76%. Folks, that is a dramatic drop-off from that highest group of 65 plus. Hillary Clinton does extremely well with 65 plus. Look at that number of 18 to 29. Joining us right now, President and CEO of the Joint Center, Spencer Overton. So Spencer, what surprised you the most with this survey?
Well, a few things surprised me. One, I think that black folks are very supportive of Hillary Clinton, more so than other groups, right? They're much more likely to vote for Hillary Clinton than just against Donald Trump compared to other racial groups. But there's just soft support among young black folks. I mean, Cornell has seen that before. We certainly saw this in our numbers. A lot of young black voters are undecided about whether or not they're going to vote.
Well, also, I think what stands out when you look at this, I mean, bottom line is the issues that black folks care about are same as others: economy, jobs. Yeah. But then, of course, when you begin to talk about racial justice, things along those lines.
Right.
So the question is, in the last 5 days, how do you make that connection? Because the bottom line is, you know, what can you say? What do you do?
Well, you know, we're coming out with some other reports today and tomorrow that deal with preferences on spending, policing issues, and we see this stark difference between white Trump voters and black Clinton voters on issues like, is there a lot of discrimination among police? Is sentencing too harsh? Should we increase health care spending? And so this notion of focusing on issues that are important to folks of color, important to black folks, right, is key. People are not as enthusiastic about Hillary Clinton as they were about President Obama. 67% of black folks said that they like President Obama very much. That number is only 29% for Hillary Clinton. So the issues are important. A lot of Cornell's work in the past has mentioned that, and that's certainly what we found.
When you look at the issues specifically for that problematic group of millennials, right, what are you finding? Are you finding the issues of police brutality and racism a top issue there?
Yeah, certainly police brutality. Can police effectively make places safer, right? Communities safer? One interesting thing is that both white Trump supporters and black Clinton supporters were the highest groups in terms of more government spending on dealing with crime, right? So that was actually an interesting, I think, dealing. They're probably thinking about it
differently
in different
ways, right?
Right.
Are young black voters who are undecided right now, is the Clintons' background on criminal justice have anything to do with their disaffectedness?
That's certainly a part of it, and often it's not that they're undecided about whether or not they're going to vote.
Right.
Right? So it's not a...
So it's not like, well, Trump, Clinton, Stein,
right,
Johnson.
Right.
But they see it as irrelevant, apparently. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if they're not going to do anything, right, they see it as irrelevant, and that's still right, a reaction.
Right.
And so maybe they're saying Clinton is not relevant because what we're talking about right now is black people voting for Clinton, and right, these young black people are not sure about voting for Clinton. So that's a statement, and right, I'm trying to find out what the statement is.
And let me just also say this. We were able to break down black Clinton voters, Latino Clinton voters, white Clinton voters, and white Trump voters we did not have enough black Trump supporters in order to drill down. The numbers are just too small. So again,
now Ralph just said, and I want you to speak to that. Ralph just said that he believes that he believes that there is this right.
We're gonna take a bet.
Right, like Cleo. Hold on. Like Cleo just said, there are these closeted black Trump supporters.
Right.
I want to get your thoughts on that. Then Ralph, let him speak.
Yeah, the data doesn't suggest that they're closeted here. We didn't find evidence of a lot of closeted.
Data's never.
Well, you wouldn't find it. But that's the point. You wouldn't find it.
You would find it.
I mean, you can go to. They say they're not going to tell you guys because you're Democrats, but they'll tell me and other black Republicans.
Why would they be ashamed to say who they're going to vote for? I mean, that's a problem in and of itself, isn't it?
Because the tenor and the tone of this campaign, if you're a black person who says you're voting for Trump, you are going to be attacked. And these people don't want to be attacked by their family members. They don't want to be attacked on their jobs. They don't want to be ostracized for taking a political position.
Right.
So they are going to quietly do what they do, but they're not going to make a public stand like someone like me, because they don't want the pushback that's going to come from inside of our community.
So someone's ashamed to admit who they're voting for. I have a hard time to think that
it's
someone
fear.
is
and they have a reason to be afraid.
Going to turn out and in large numbers if they're fearful to share who they're voting with their family or their friends. I mean, I think it's an odd place for someone to be in.
Well, it's an odd place because America right now is an odd place.
Well, we have an odd candidate. That's the reason why they're feeling.
I mean, when you have a campaign office that gets firebombed, that's crazy.
Actually, two were vandalized. The Trump office and the Democratic office in North Carolina.
But that's crazy.
I know it is. Avis to Spencer.
Now, I want to drill down some more on these millennials because we've done some research also with Essence Magazine, and we've seen some very similar findings. And what we found, and I'm wondering if your survey also found the same thing, that millennials were less likely to identify with either party. And the issue is that they don't believe that the system works.
Right.
In a sense, they are almost arguing the same thing that Trump is arguing, that the whole system is rigged, that the system doesn't work, and so why even care? If you're seeing the same thing there, are you getting any kernels from that research to suggest what would be the most effective argument that could be used towards that group to help them change their mind?
I really think it's about issues as opposed to people and personalities.
So what you're saying is a Jay-Z concert is not going to move them. I'm saying because literally, I think DeRay McKesson sent that tweet out. He says, I don't think doing a Jay-Z concert is a way to get to millennials. They want to hear from the candidate.
This would be helpful, I think. If we did focus groups in North Carolina a couple of weeks back, and you're talking to young African Americans, and their top issue is sort of the brutality and the criminal justice system, right? And then you show them, a criminal justice reform platform, right? And they have no idea where it came from. It's exactly what Black Lives Matter has been asking for. It is her criminal justice reform platform. None of them know it, right? None of them know where she is on criminal justice reform.
Which says
that's the problem.
That is a campaign problem.
That is a communications problem when, quite frankly, the number one issue for young black voters, they don't know where the candidates are on those issues.
All right, then. Spencer, we appreciate it, man. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks.
And certainly, as new reports come out, we'll have you back on.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, then. Because let me be real clear with y'all, folks. All the rest of these networks, these discussions about black voters is a segment. It ain't the whole show. Because we're here, we don't apologize for being black. Up next, Congressman Alcee Hastings. Talk about black voters in Florida. Plus, I guess please show his book before you say something again. We'll talk to Cornell about his book, A Black Man in the White House, Barack Obama and the Triggering of America's Racial Aversion Crisis. I guess I will give him some airtime. News 1 Now on TV 1.
Hey, I'm Yara Shahidi from Blackish. You have one vote. Use it.